There's been a debate over the last few years of where we are in that spectrum, that pattern of hard times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times create strong men. And so when you've seen discussions of this concept, this pattern online, a bunch of people say we're already in the hard times create strong men, and a bunch of people say that we are in the weak men create hard times. I think we've drifted from here. The weak men have created the hard times. I think the weak men are those of the Silicon Valley nerds. I think they are our weak men, even though they are the strongest men of humanity ever. Like the strongest person or people right now are nerds. They control presidents, they control governments, they control billions of people's views. They hold everyone's attention, and attention is the most valuable currency and also weapon of the modern time. The weak men in Silicon Valley, the software developers, the senior executives, the shareholders to Facebook and Meta, they've created the hard time. They have blood on their hands from the death, from the suicides of tens of thousands, of hundreds of thousands of young people, older people, children. Seemingly everyone has mental health problems now. Everyone is going through a hard time, which is very interesting because whilst we're all going through a hard time mentally and spiritually, we're actually living in physically one of the easiest times of life. We have the most comfort ever, and yet we're so uncomfortable. What I've been seeing over the last couple of years is the rise of some strong men. And more, these strong men who are coming to light and becoming kind of famous, and you could probably think of some. A few years ago, 5, 10, 15 years ago, they were just seen as weird, misogynistic, racist, bad people. As times went on, those same strong men, or the new kind of person of the strong man, the new image of the strong man, now has almost like a 50-50 split. A bunch of people really like him and think, his message is so important. And a bunch of people also still think, oh yeah, he's really weird and creepy and right-wing and racist and misogynist. And I think as time goes on, that split is going to get way more on this side, where we realize, okay, the strong man is needed. This message is needed. Right now, the strong alpha male is still somewhat criticized and kind of cringe when you see him. But as time goes on and we're experiencing more and more hardship mentally and spiritually, that tide will turn and people will realize the value of having a strong masculine leader, a role model. Perhaps we've just been waiting for the right kind of masculine role model who embodies the perfect father, the perfect husband, the perfect man, the ultimate man, who isn't just masculine and an alpha male in the sort of physical conquering sense, but also is so generous and kind to his community because he's the tribe leader. And this is my image of Adonis. The ultimate male is Adonis because he isn't just one of those stereotypical alpha males that you see. He's the most generous of them all. He's the tribe leader. He's the most caring man out there. That's the kind of man that you would vote to power. Not only is he incredibly powerful spiritually, mentally, physically, but he has such a good heart for the people in his tribe that you couldn't go wrong voting for someone like him. You couldn't go wrong supporting a man like Adonis in his mission. Perhaps we just need more role models like that to come to light. But times are getting harder and strong men are needed more than ever. Like I said, right now there is a bit of a split between not really needing them and, some guys thinking it's really important, but some other people, especially like women and the left blue pill kind of society thinking, oh yeah, it's cringe and, they're weird and everything. The hard times have started. I don't think you need me to tell you that. You've experienced a weird level of hardship even in the easiest time of humanity. Because this is our challenge. Our hard time is our mental space. Our war is not fought with our hands with swords, with guns, with nukes. It's fought with attention. Our enemy is in a different country. It's with companies. And maybe you've not realized it just yet, because I only did a couple of weeks ago, but we are at war. We've been slowly losing a battle that we didn't even realize was going on. If the modern wars are fought with attention, then we've been losing against the people, the groups of people who have displayed the ultimate war strategy, which is to win without bloodshed, to win without the enemy even realizing that they are fighting a war, because that's what happened to us. You don't even know what war I'm talking about. It's the war on our mental health, the war on our social connections and friendship and love. And that war is fought against these evil companies that are choosing profit over people. The domination of the world by companies like Facebook or Meta, and what they have done to our mental health is unforgivable. Perhaps the new age strong man that we need is the man who will fight this war for us. Because when you look around and you think about your family, they're always watching something. They're watching the TV, they're watching the news, they're on their phone, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. You know, your mum uses a phone like this, like an old person does. And your mum's addicted to social media now. Your dad's been addicted to social media for a while. Your siblings are addicted to social media. Your friends are addicted to social media. The woman that you get with eventually is going to be addicted to social media. Everyone around you is addicted. Everyone around you is just trading their attention for little bits of dopamine. And this reduces their quality as a person. This really makes them subhuman. I know that sounds horrible, but like a person addicted to social media, you'd agree, is subhuman. They are less of a person. Their brain literally gets fucked up. Their ability to make a loving connection with someone gets fucked up. They can't even stay present with you. If you get in a conversation with someone who spent too much time on social media, they can't even listen to what you're saying. They literally have words in their brain processing different thoughts, different images, whilst you try to speak to them. Perhaps this is you. Perhaps you can't even have a real conversation with someone. What used to be our greatest advantage as a species was our ability to work together. That's been totally destroyed. We're all so individual, so separated, so lonely. What did we get in return for the effect that we've had? This like very extremely negative effect that has come about from these evil companies, from porn companies, from social media companies. What did we get in return? So many of us think that the trade-off, being able to like message someone, oh, you know, I can share my pictures of my dog, and yeah. So many of us have deluded ourselves to think that that is worth our increased risk of suicide. I see chaos starting exponentially. Perhaps it has started, but I see it growing exponentially. Even in countries that have never experienced true chaos in our generation. So I live in the UK, and we've never had a war here in my lifetime. I think hard times, chaotic times will truly begin in the next 10 years. Whether that's due to a real war, maybe some kind of like economic crisis, a crisis over resources like water, food. Or it might simply just be an escalation of what's happening already, which is the negative mental health effects of modern technology, especially social media. Right now it's becoming, quite a big problem, and like in schools, every year there's 1 or 2 students who kill themselves. Oh yeah, we'll do a mental health week, we'll do something about it. Suicide is the leading cause of death for young people, for men. You know, and oh yeah, like hashtag mental health aware. You know, we're trying, yeah. So right now it's getting some level of awareness, and you know we're making progress. The progress isn't doing anything, but at least we're trying. What if this grows exponentially? Because it's this kind of growth, the negative effects of social media, is not going to be linearly affecting us, our generation. It's going to be exponential. Those 2 kids who killed themselves in that school year will turn into 15 randomly one year. And that's like, oh shit, okay, the school's going to shut down. What the fuck's happening? It won't really hit up until you see. That's fucking dark, but I don't think, if you've lived quite a sheltered life and you've never really seen this, it won't really hit you that we are in the hard times up until you see firsthand someone with mental illness, heavily influenced by social media. I could sugarcoat this video like the majority of YouTubers do with the content, like, you know, out there. But there may be a time within the next few years that you see someone committing suicide with your own eyes, because it will get that common. It will get that frequent. And then when it hits you that the reason why they have done that is because of the mental illness caused by these companies, you'll realize how fucked we all are. We can't help but crave the validation that comes from using the software and social media and porn. These are some extremely intelligent enemies that we're up against. These nerds at like Silicon Valley, they know exactly how the human brain works. They know exactly what to do to make us anxious, to make us feel depressed and lonely, to make us feel like we're missing out, to bring us back in, to reel us back into the addiction. They know exactly what they're doing. These are the weak men that are creating the hard times, and the hard times have hit. When you think about the effect that social media has had on the mental health of your generation, the hard times has already hit. It will grow exponentially, but it has already started. That's why I believe that we are in the hard times create strong men part of this pattern, because I'm seeing a rise, mostly just in this movement that you see before you that we've created here, this revolution. I'm seeing a rise of young men become strong, to toss their phone away, to delete fucking, not just like the app on their phone, but to truly delete their accounts, take a big step back, like a refreshing deep breath, and think, fuck, I'm free from this now. I can't believe they had me like shackled for so long. I didn't even like using Instagram. I didn't even like using Snapchat or TikTok or whatever the fucking apps that are popular these days. I didn't even like them, and yet I was using them for like an hour a day, every single day. These young men who are thinking this, I see them rising up and becoming strong. And that capacity of like freeing yourself from this addiction gives you the space to achieve what you've wanted all along. That dream life that you think about comes after you free yourself from the shackles of this weakness. It comes after you start seeing your mental health improve as you take a step back from social media. I'm seeing some, not many, but some future strong men emerge in this revolution. A bunch of young guys fed up with normal life, craving natural life like our ancestors did. I've just come back from a 1 week trip, like a road trip, like a very, honestly, probably the best week of my entire life. I went on a road trip around Scotland, around like these mountainous parts, like so much nature and outdoors. And for the entire trip, I didn't even use my phone, like at all. I didn't do any work. I didn't check YouTube once. I didn't check Discord. I didn't check messages. I didn't even message my family. I literally did not use my phone. There was like, I might have used my phone for about 20 minutes or something, literally, for the entire week. didn't check like messages, so nothing infiltrated my mind. And the effect that it had on me, I can't even explain it to you how fucking nice it was. Especially being in like the vast open landscape of the mountains, it broadened me psychologically, where my brain started thinking of like the big picture, and I couldn't help but think about fatherhood. I couldn't help but think that that would be the most important thing that I do with my life, and that so many of my actions and my day-to-day choices should be directed towards becoming a father, not now, but to like prepare me for it, because that's the most important thing that I could do as a man. It's the most purposeful thing I could do, is be a father, and actually be a great father as best as I possibly could be. Being around this like scenic open landscape for a week straight, literally just sleeping in the car and pitching up a tent, it changed me as a person. It changed my views, my goals, my attitudes to life, my demeanor. Like, I was so happy, even through incredibly uncomfortable moments on this trip. Even through, if you know of them, there's an insect, like a fly, called midge in the UK, especially in Scotland, and they're fucking painful, and like swarms of them will just attack you, and like literally I've got like spots all over my arms and everything. Incredibly uncomfortable. And I'm happy, smiling through all of this. I had the best time of my entire life because I was so detached away from this, from normal life, from technology, from social media, from notifications and likes and validation. I didn't need any of that. The entire trip kept on reminding me of the value of living life naturally, like our ancestors did. To go out there and experience the cold, to swim in like the freezing cold lakes, to get so much sunlight, to walk miles and miles every day, to train out in the sun, to sweat, to be so present, to have a direction. Okay, we're going there today. We're going to drive 100 miles over to this town today. To not have outside influences. There's too many people who can infiltrate our mind. It's the nature of social media. It's the nature of why I think so many people are so fucking stressed and mentally ill these days. Because there's too many people in our tribe now. Social media, like, humans have always had tribes of around 100 to 150 people. Social media increases that into the thousands. There's thousands, tens of thousands of people who your brain can kind of think about when you open up the social media app and you go onto like the explore page, and oh, here's a girl, oh, here's a guy, and like they're suddenly getting processed in your brain. You can't help but judge yourself in respect to them. I had such a good time, felt so refreshed, so mentally healthy. I came back, and the plan was, come back, reintegrate back into work. This is the longest I've ever been without working since I started this entire thing. Integrate back into work and everything, feel so refreshed, and literally within minutes of being back into work, and it is my fault because I couldn't help. Like, it is my fault. I'll take responsibility. I went onto YouTube, went onto like YouTube analytics, and the analytics looks good. We have experienced a lot of growth whilst I was away. But then I just started reading comments. I was reading comments. I saw videos being made about me and everything, and then suddenly it's like, oh shit! There's so many people that exist, so many opinions of me, so many like judgments, and so many ways that I could view myself. There's tens of people, hundreds of people thinking about me, and then I was right back to it. That beauty, that magic of solitude, of being in nature and outdoors, just got crumbled by the weight of modern technology, social media. And I think I'm one of the lucky ones in that the social media I have is YouTube, because I'm a YouTuber. I don't have Instagram, I don't have Facebook, I don't have Snapchat, I don't have TikTok. I have WhatsApp to text message people, that's it. And even WhatsApp, I felt, is even like too much now. When I open WhatsApp and there's like 10 messages from people, I've become more aware that it fucks up my brain. I'm realizing these things, and the steps that I'm taking to overcome them is making me into a stronger man. Because you see, hard times are creating strong men. So right now, I believe we are in this pattern where if you do the right things, if you're watching content like this and you're putting in the fucking work Like I say, like, you know, there's a lot of people who watch my videos and just watch it passively. But then there's some men, just some men who watch these videos and really contemplate the learning points, the wisdom in them, and then really, really try their absolute best to integrate whatever they can into their real life to see real progress. Now is the chapter of our lives to become strong, to realize, okay, we are in the hard times, that this is an incredibly hard battle that we're fighting against these companies and the hooks that they have, the addiction that they've put onto us. This is a hard war to fight. That's how strong men get created. This is the chapter of our lives to become strong. Even under ridicule, even under being called like a misogynist, alpha male, and it's cringe, and, you know, even under all that, because you're gonna see that. You're gonna feel people judging you in that way. Because the strong men aren't totally needed just yet. The strong man develops himself when he isn't needed. The warrior sharpens his blade, even in times of peace. Strong men will be needed very, very soon, and you better hope you're one of them. Your family hopes that you are one of them. Your community needs you to be one of them, and you need it more than ever. This is not a normal YouTube video, a piece of content that you can just casually watch. I'm not like a goofy kind of guy. I'm very serious in the things that I talk about. I have full belief that this is like a very, very serious topic that we're thinking about, that chaos will strike, if it hasn't already. Now is the time to be developing your skills to become strong, and you need to do this as fast as possible. This pressure that you feel right now, perhaps a sense of anxiety by watching this video, is a good thing. Use that to fuel your efforts to take this shit seriously. The hard times are here, and you better become a strong man. Click on this video to learn more right now. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.